Good evening, everybody. I'm Kath Lloyd from Make the Change, and it's 8 o'clock and it's Let's Talk. And I'm looking a bit rosy cheeked this evening because I've still got a little bit of a cold, as you might hear, but I've done a bit of a steam inhalation with some Breathe doTERRA essential oil. So hopefully we're going to be okay tonight. So tonight is the introduction to sleep exercise. Now, research into sleep has been going since the 1930s. But hi Nick, lovely to see you. But I'm not going to be here for hours on end talking all about sleep all the way from the 1930s because one, it'll be an awful lot to get through, and two, as I've said before, I'm not the expert. This is things that I'm starting to learn about that I'm wanting to share with you because I think they're so important. So let's get down to business. Our sleep is governed by, or our sleep patterns are affected by rather the light and the dark. Okay, so when it's light, the light is picked up by our retina. It sends information to our pineal gland, which then tells our brain to stop producing melatonin, which is a natural sedative, so that we are more awake. When there's lack of light, so when it's night time, the retina picks up the low levels of light, which sends the information to the pineal gland, which then tells our brain to increase production of melatonin, which is the natural sedative, which will help us sleep. So that's the basics around, the very, very basics around how our brain is affected by light and dark. Okay, so we also know from our own sleep pattern, from stuff that we've read, what we've watched on the telly, that we go through a series of different stages. And we tend to vary that as we go through our stages. So the first stage is the transition stage, all right, and it's very much between being awake and being asleep. Our brain is still very active. And if we were to be woken in that period of time, we would say that we haven't really been asleep. So if we get through the first stage, we go into the second stage, which is classed as light sleep, and we actually spend half of our night in this stage. But the brain waves have actually started to slow down a little bit. Unfortunately, in times of stress, this area of light sleep is extended compared to stages 3 and 4 in our sleep pattern. So that means that in times of stress and anxiety, we're not going to get the deep sleep that we really need to help our bodies function even better. So when we go into the third and fourth stage, this is a mixture of the deep sleep and the REM, which is the rapid eye movement, or called paradoxical sleep. Okay, now this is where, so the deep sleep is where the brain waves really slow down, okay, and our body function really slows down. And this is, the deep sleep is what is so important because, and when we say that, it's important to have our sleep so that our body can rejuvenate, our body can really heal itself. And, this is, when we say, if you're a parent, that you would say, I'm sure my child has grown in the night, because this is where all, lots of good work is done in healing. All right. And when we talk about healing, that deep sleep is the section that will help boost our immune system. So if we are sleep deprived, Okay, this is the area of deep sleep that is affected first, and it will become affected quite quickly if we are deprived from sleep, and in a matter of a few weeks. Okay, so between the third and the fourth stage, so we've got the deep sleep and the rapid eye movement. Okay, and with the rapid eye movement, or the paradoxical stage, we actually go into this stage of sleep about every 20 minutes through our deep sleep and later in the sleep cycle. And in actual fact, healthy adults spend 25% of their sleep cycle in rapid eye movement. Okay, and it's this section in the rapid eye movement that the brain is the brain waves are a little bit stronger. The body functions are almost as if you're awake, and also the metabolism rate is almost the same as if you're awake as well. And so this is where, if you're woken in the REM stage, this is where you remember your vivid dreams. All right, so all of the different stages are really, really important in our sleep patterns. Now you could say, well, if I don't sleep, I can just get a sleeping tablet. But the problem there is that it has actually got an artificial mild sedative in it. But you won't, if you're taking a sleeping pill, you won't go into the deep sleep. You'll stay in the light sleep area. So you're not going to get the deep sleep where you're going to wake up and feel refreshed, which means that you're going to wake up groggy. You're going to spend a lot of your time through the day feeling groggy and, just miserable and not really being able to function effectively. But it also means that if you're on sleeping tablets for quite a long time, you will need to wean yourself off them with the advice from your GP, because they are addictive, and if you've been on them a long time, you might get withdrawal symptoms. Okay, so carrying on with a good sleep pattern. Okay, now the way the light and the dark affects our brain and triggers the melatonin is called, and I hope I've got this correctly, all right, is the circadian rhythm. Now this circadian rhythm is also connected to our sleep pattern and our body temperature. All right, so when we go to sleep, our body temperature will drop, not a lot, but it will drop. When we begin to wake up, our body temperature will rise slightly, and then when we get up and we start moving around, our body temperature will rise even more and go back to normal again. All right, so it's only going to be a few variations, not a huge great deal, but that is perhaps why sometimes you wake up in the morning really, really warm, because your body has already started to adjust and get you ready for moving about and functioning properly and quickly. Okay, so when we can help control the circadian rhythm and our sleep pattern by the amount of daylight we are in, or we give ourselves during the day. All right, because if we maximize the daylight hours, it will force our circadian rhythm into a good daylight dark cycle. Hi Sue, lovely to see you here. And also I think, Anne, I saw your picture pop up, but you haven't come down at the bottom, so I haven't ignored you, Anne. So what you can do is you can force a better circadian rhythm by exposing yourself to more daylight in the day. Okay, but what you don't want to do is to do that late at night. And you might be thinking, well, how would you do that? But actually using computers, playing computer games, messing with your phone, checking up. Hi, Keith. Lovely to see you here. Messing with your phone late at night is giving out the same sort of light as daylight would. So your brain is thinking that it's daytime, and it won't produce the melatonin, which is the natural sedative to help you relax and go to sleep. So at night, to help you sleep, you need to have a softer light. All right, so that means turn your phone off, turn your computer off, and put some low lighting on so that you are forcing your brain and helping your brain trigger the melatonin so that you will go into a better sleep pattern. Now, research has told scientists that a basic, minimal, biological, good sleep pattern is 5 hours. And apparently they did this with round the world yachts people. They did quite a lot of experimentation around that, and they found out that the yachts men who, or women, yachts person, who had less than 5 hours, because they hadn't had enough sleep. Hi Gordon, lovely to see you here. They didn't have enough sleep, so they were making incorrect decisions and having navigational errors. The people who were over the 5 hours, they were going into the deep sleep pattern, and so they were waking up groggy and tired, so again they couldn't make good nautical decisions. And so the people with just the 5 hours, this was connected with their core sleep. Okay, so stages 3 and 4, which is the deep sleep and the paradoxical sleep, or the rapid eye movement, that is classed as your core sleep, so the most important. Okay, and so if you are struggling to fit in, if you've got a very busy schedule, if you are, I don't know, perhaps you have something really important to do at work and you're struggling, or busy family life, whatever it might be, then the basic minimum is 5 hours. But everybody is going to have their own sleep pattern. Anything over 10 hours is going to make you feel worse, from what the research says. So, just be mindful of that. But what is really, really important is how we are, what we are doing, how we are doing it in the run-up to bedtime. What lifestyle choices we are having. Unfortunately, as we get older, sleep will deteriorate. Unfortunately, that is just one of those things about getting older. Also, medical conditions will affect your sleep patterns, and also medication as well. So if you're not sleeping and you're on a lot of medication, then it's a good idea to go to your GP and see if you can have that list of drugs looked at again, whether you still need all those drugs or alternatives can be made. Okay, but it's really important to work out what it is that you're doing that is affecting your sleep pattern. So, and this is in what the researchers say, bed should only be used for sleep and sex. There you go, sleep and sex, that's all it's there for, nothing else. Okay, not for doing late time work, not for catching up on your emails or doing some little Facebook posts. It is just for sleep and sex. That's all. Okay, so The other tips are as well is don't, and I know this sounds really difficult if you are struggling to sleep. Thankfully, I am a good sleeper. It's not often that I struggle to sleep. But the more you worry about not going to sleep, the worse it's going to get. I've talked about this before, that if you're tense, if you're anxious, if you're stressed out, your whole body is going to get very, very tight. And when you're tense, you're not going to relax, which means you're not going to go to sleep. So do your best to do some good relaxation exercises. So some breathing, some mindfulness, some visualization. And when I do struggle to sleep, those are the things that I really do implement. And if you've got essential oils as well, use those to help you relax so that you are in a better state to be able to sleep. Okay. So other things not to do before you go to sleep. Don't plan your next day's schedule. Do that a few hours before so that you can relax from it. Don't exercise just before you go to bed. Do that, about 4 hours before you go to bed so that your body has got time to wind down, that your body functions are slowing down and becoming more relaxed. If you really can't sleep, don't lie in bed getting more and more frustrated about it. Get up, go to another room, go and do something else. Somebody who I used to work with, a very talented man, a great teacher, great mathematician, and he struggled with insomnia. But what he would do is he would get up and he would paint. And he produced these absolutely fantastic watercolour pictures because he brought them in the one day to show us. Absolutely fabulous. So, that's how he managed his sleep. Just on a few hours sleep, but then would get up and do something else. Also, but then, go back to bed a little while later when you've relaxed and then go through the process again. Other tips are plan a sleep schedule. All right. So try going to sleep later than usual. All right. When you're really tired, but get up at the normal time. Don't sleep in. All right. Because what you're trying to do is force your body into the right sleep cycle. So go to bed later than usual. Get up at the same time and try not to nap in the middle of the day, and then that will force you, you'll be more tired at the end of the next day, which will force an earlier sleep pattern for you. Another thing you could do is calculate your average actual sleep. So say if your average sleep pattern is 6 hours, then add another hour onto that to outweigh the relaxation time. All right, and then stick with that sleep pattern for a few weeks, because like any change takes time, and if you've got out of a good sleep pattern, you have produced a new habit for yourself. So you've got to go back and retrain your body to get into a new habit. And unfortunately, that doesn't happen overnight. It takes a little time. All right. So you've got to be patient with this so that you can get your body back into the right cycle again. Now, other things, which is, things like keep your bedroom cooler. All right. Have some fresh air running through it, because like I said before, if your body temperature is too high, your body isn't going to sleep. All right, because it's in the wrong state. All right, so having a cooler bedroom with the window open will help to lower your body temperature and put you in a better state to be able to go to sleep. All right. Now, the other things that are important that that we do hear on the radio, that we do read in the papers and watch on the telly, is about lifestyle choices. So it is about cutting down the caffeine, okay, cutting out the alcohol, the nicotine, the recreational drugs. Have some quiet time before you go to bed. Yes, a nice, a hot bath will relax you before you go to bed, but actually that's going to raise your body temperature. So make sure that you do that a little while before you go to bed so that your body temperature has calmed down again. All right. Yes, have your quiet time. And then I know people who drink an awful lot of fluids before they go to bed, and they say, I'm always up in the night, having to go to the toilet to urinate, and that's because they drink a pint of water through the night. So if you're going to fill your body up with fluids, of course your body is going to wake up and urinate, and then you're going to be more tired because, the third and fourth stage of your sleep pattern has changed. Now, the reason why sleep is so good for us and proper sleep is so good for us is because, one, it will boost our immune system. So we're generally going to be a lot healthier. Okay. Again, in times of anxiety and stress, that is going to alter. And however much you do your best to keep yourself relaxed and calm, you are going to go through periods where you're a little bit more tense. You're going to have anxieties. And so it's really important to think about how you can help yourself to try and sleep better. But also, sleep is really important for memory. So what's happening is, all the memories that are a bit unstable, as you sleep, your brain will be processing all of that information and will make those unstable memories into stable memories. And so that is going to be better for your learning and for your long-term memory. So that's why it's important to get your sleep, so that you can look after the health of your body, but also the health of your memory at the same time. So, I think that's my little introduction to sleep. I hope it makes sense. It has really helped me understand it a lot better, and so that I can pass that information on to my clients. And I hope that you will be able to implement some of those things so that you can have a better night's sleep. And one thing I just want to mention before I go is the sleeping tablets, the alcohol, that people say, oh, I can't go to bed unless I've had a whiskey. That is only going to mask the problem. It isn't going to solve the problem. And if you want to create a better sleep pattern for yourself, you got to change some old habits. And yes, it's going to be difficult at first, just like with any change, but once your body has got into the flow, it is going to be an awful lot better for you. If it's noisy in the house, if your partner snores, you don't have to go to a separate bedroom. You can get yourself some earplugs, things like that. And with the world of Kindle now, because my husband actually reads quite a lot in bed, but at least now he reads with a Kindle, which means that we can turn the light off, I can roll over and go to sleep while he catches up on a few chapters of his book. And I hope that you get a good night's sleep and you'll feel refreshed and revived in the morning. And I look forward to speaking to you again next week at 8 o'clock on Let's Talk. Good night, everybody.